Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tilts podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Monday night, ready to give you some podcasts. Took yesterday off, but you know, it was still a fruitful day. We got things taken care of.
We did.
There were things to do. We'll get into some of that, I'm sure. I guess the first thing to ask Karen is, do you have any banter? Okay, cool. I do. I don't know why I thought you would have something. I'm fine with it. Give me 1 second, everybody. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Banter? Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter?
I do.
All right, I'll put the show on my back. Okay. We all know the official weapon of the show is
Folding chair.
the unofficial sport.
What about?
Bullet Ball Extreme. I guess the first thing to say is that Glorilla album dropped. It's called Glorious. Go listen to that. That's a little free game for y'all.
Okay, I definitely listened to that. I really enjoyed her last album.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because I don't be understanding how this album shit works, but they were saying this is her debut album, but then I remember Megan Thee Stallion had like fucking 12 projects, and then it was like, finally, she drops her album. I was like, what were we listening to?
Right?
Because I know all the words to her not albums and songs.
All of them.
Apparently.
Been exercising to them bitches. What is happening here?
Apparently that doesn't count. So I don't know the rules in this new streaming age of what it counts as like an album and what is.
Okay, I thought her other stuff was an album.
Yeah, like I listened to everything earlier this year. I thought that was an album. That's
me too.
It's 12 tracks.
What is it, an EP? I don't understand.
I don't know, but it was very confusing. Also, Tyler, the Creator, dropped a new song called Noid today. And the video is some real artistic shit because, you know, he is an artiste.
Come on.
So if y'all ain't up on that, I suggest you go listen to Noid as well.
I need to get up on that.
Check out the video. I believe it's got Ayo Idabiri in it as well because, you know, he's an artiste. He's not just going to give us the music. Tyler's going to give us the visuals, and then he going to give us the on-stage performance as well. That's the thing about Tyler. He took some time off, but the thing about Tyler is, to me, he's up there with Kendrick as far as a complete 360-degree artist.
Yes.
Only difference between him and Kendrick is that I think Tyler is such a creative person, he doesn't mind branching into other projects, whereas Kendrick tries to keep it straight, just music. But Tyler is, you know, he's an actor, funny like dude. He hosts his own, you know, concert series. Like, he's a beast. But I hope he's back. I'm ready.
Yes, because his last album, motherfucking goes. His last 2 albums have been bangers. And Kendrick did an interview with Bizarre Magazine today, I believe, where he's on the cover and confirmed album coming. Let's go.
So, yeah, it's music is looking lovely right now.
Let's motherfucking go. And I know there are some people that are big Tyler the Creator's fan, but Tyler's a little bit younger than me. So when his music, and I didn't get introduced to him through his music. I got introduced to him through his TV show,
Loiter Squad.
Yes, that he used to do with his team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wolfgang.
For me, I didn't even know they did music at the time, honestly. And so, you know, when he first branched out, I didn't really listen because I didn't really know. And so as time went on, I was like, oh, yeah, I know. It's one of them things where you just go, oh, yeah, Tyler the Creator. But then I thought about it. I was like, Karen, have you really sat down and listened to his music? I was like, no, I haven't. And I went back, and like I said, I haven't went back through all his discography, but I really love his most recent stuff.
So that's the music corner. Just letting y'all know the new stuff is dropping. It's out there. Go check it out.
Let's go. I can't wait till that motherfucking Kendrick.
I did. This week has been the toughest week of what the trainer has had me doing exercise wise of all the weeks that we've done shit. And I'm just here to say that the rowing machine, it ain't no hoe. I really.
You've been saying
I have a new
Give you the
respect.
business.
I have a newfound respect for that piece of machinery that I didn't have before, because I do stuff in circuits or cycles, I forget what you call it, but like it's typically 4 to 6 exercises, and then you do them in intervals and you repeat. On a good day, if I can get there when nobody's there, I can do all of them without sharing machines and equipment, and I can just kind of go through all of them. And this week, she had me doing something different. Like normally I do stuff for a certain period of time. So it's like, oh, you need to do the bike for a minute and a half, go pretty hard, give about, 7 to 8 effort and for a minute and a half, that'll wind you a little bit. Then you hop on, then you maybe do bench press, or you do curls, or you do something. Then you do, for 10 of those, then you do 12 of these, and this motherfucking road thing, I'm doing 800 meters. And so it's not measuring time, it's measuring distance. And the machine tells you what the distance is, like as you're doing it. And the meters have never moved slower in my life.
How far is a meter?
I thought meters were smaller than well, I guess no, they're longer than feet, but 800 meters apparently is a long distance. I didn't think it was long. But and it's like
probably a few miles.
I don't know if it's a few miles, Karen. You don't have to help. It's just I do it. It takes me the first time when you fresh, when you hop out there, it takes like, for me, obviously many people are probably faster and better at this than me, but this is my first time really doing it like this. It takes me a good 4.5, 5 minutes the first round to do it. She wanted me to do it four rounds. I can't. I literally can't. I can do 3. And the reason I can do 3 is because for me to do this whole routine, including the rowing and shit, is fucking I be in there an hour and a half just on that site, like not counting my warm up. I be in there an hour and a half, and I don't have anything left. Like my legs be about to give out. Because it's not just that. Then I gotta do these step ups. Then I gotta do plank, which shout out to progress. I don't even complain about the planks no more because the fucking rowing machine.
Yeah, them planks used to whoop your ass.
I used to hate the planks. Now I'm like, you know what? Planks ain't shit, dog. Planks, I'll plank everything out this motherfucker. Just give me some planks. Can I just do planks instead of 800 meters of this shit?
Like, nope, no sir.
Yeah, kettlebell swings. I've been doing those. One arm now. It's
shit now.
It's all paying off though. I saw today when I was getting my clothes ready to go, because it's looking like I don't know what to do with my clothes, because I know some of them now are too big, and I'm supposed to throw them away. And it's not that I'm not throwing away because I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't. I'm gonna need these clothes if I get bigger. I just don't want to go buy new clothes that if I keep changing my body will also be obsolete in a short period of time, possibly. It's like buying kids shoes, I guess, where it's like
they keep growing out of them.
Well, yeah, now next week we need a whole new set of shoes, so why would I pay too much for these shoes? So I'm trying to figure it out. I'm sure there's I probably can get some shirts in bulk or some cheap alternative, but also I like to be a little bit fashionable, a little bit.
You do.
I like to make statements with my shirts, like this Tom Run shirt and stuff like that.
Yes, Tom Run.
Anyway, my point being, like, this rowing machine ain't no hoe. It humiliated me. It really broke me down. But I went to get something out of my dresser, and the way our dresser set up in the bedroom, the TV kind of covers the mirror on the stand, but because of how it covers it, I was standing in front of it. I could see the top of my shoulders, and I was like, oh, I have shoulders now. Like, they got the little thing in them now, the clavicle, the dip, or whatever the fuck. Like, it's got some, like, the shoulders is shouldering.
Not no definitions. Got that definition popping.
I always could feel it, but I just, people don't be touching on me for them to know all that shit. That's not their business. So I know that my body feels stronger and more firm, and I can feel muscle under here and shit. But that's not necessarily, they're not show muscles. They just
you ain't trying to body build.
They shy. You know, they keep to themselves. They don't bother nobody. But yeah, I just happened to notice, and I did put a picture up on my Instagram of like, oh yeah, look at my shoulders. I got shoulders now. But it was also in between the pictures of me dying on the rowing machine. So you know, I guess you got to sacrifice for that. Unpopular opinion. I love daylight savings time. Apparently it's not cool to like it on the social medias. They don't like it. They think it's a bad thing or something. I don't know. And I have to admit, the reason I like the daylight savings time, because I'm scared of the dark, and I don't like when I have to do something in the morning and the sun ain't out yet.
Come on.
I'm like, get on your job, son.
Sun don't come to fucking 7:30.
Like, hey, I'm not finna be out here by myself. Hop your ass up. I need to see things. I don't like it. I feel like ghosts gonna get me or something.
Right.
Something scary. I feel like I'm gonna drop my keys like a white lady fumbling in a horror movie, and then next thing you know, somebody done snuck up on me. I don't want to deal with the boogeyman.
5 p.m. everything fucking pitch black, and you're like,
well, I don't care about that part, honestly. Cause that's just what it's gonna be, that like daylight savings time basically means I think we fall forward. So instead of it being 7 right now, it would be 8.
Yes.
I'm okay losing the nighttime light. That's gonna happen.
Okay.
Fuck it. Like the sun decided to be up less. That's not my fault. So like even if we didn't do daylight savings time, the sun's still going down earlier than when it was like 8 and all this shit.
Right.
But that morning time,
yeah,
not a fan.
Yeah, when I had to go into the office, that shit used to be a motherfucking beast. You get up and it be pitch black. You be like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then fucking cold too. Boo.
I'm sure y'all just aren't as scary as me, and that's fine. I didn't claim to be the strongest man in the world, but I don't know. I'll be spooked in the morning. I'll be like, nah, what? Is that my neighbor? Is that a black cat under my car?
Is that the raccoon in the woods?
Is that a
back
gremlin?
there?
The fuck? The WNBA Finals was last night. Watched it. Loved it. My favorite team, the New York Liberty, won.
Yes, they won it all.
I adopted them when I went to New York for a couple years. And I gotta say, WNBA finally made it. Why? Not the ratings, but because on my timeline, everybody was mad at the officiating, and they said the game was rigged for New York to win it.
What?
Now, why they wouldn't have rigged it one other time in the 28 years of existence in the WNBA, why they just now this year giving it to the biggest market in the world, I don't know. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert showed up wearing a dress of the New York City skyline.
It was a pretty dress.
But it don't help the tank allegations. If they if the commissioner comes up, they hand the trophy at home to the New York Liberty MVP and owner in a New York skyline dress, it does give a little something. It gives a little, like maybe there was some bias here. Maybe the call came in and you said, hey, Liberty not losing tonight. Okay? Figure it out, refs.
They tried to lose though.
And the other thing is that I appreciated about it, the WNBA, like the coach of the Lynx was spicy. She was talking shit. She's like, they got cheated. It sucks that we got here. She started talking shit about the Liberty. She was like, and we proved, because we won 5 titles over our existence of our team. So we proved that you don't have to have chartered flights and go over the salary cap to pay your players, unlike some teams. I was like, damn, you sound like a hater right there, though. Mm-hmm. But then the other thing she said too was like, I mean, good, they finally won 1 in 28 years. I mean, we only won 5, should have been 6 or 7, but we got cheated. I was like, damn, she gonna take these fines. I don't know how much WNBA coaches get paid, but she was. I said, this right here is high level sports mess.
Yes.
This is good sports mess. Like, this is really what sports is about. you know, all that shit with the beauty of the game and the skill of the players. That's not what sports about. Sports is about a salty ass coach that's like, did we just get cheated? And fans going, I think y'all got cheated. Think y'all should have won that game. And them calls was kind of biased. And especially when you looked up and Stewie and Ionescu was bricking.
Yeah.
And people kept making this joke, but I don't think the joke really makes sense. They were going, oh, Ionescu went 1 for 19, but she's still gonna get a trophy. And you know, I know Kobe's somewhere shaking his head because she was Kobe's like favorite player and stuff. And I was like, no. Kobe mentality, Mamba mentality is, why would you be 1 of 18 when you could be 1 of 19? Keep shooting.
His thing was keep motherfucking shooting. That was his motto.
Yeah, like he would have never sat up there and been like, I guess I'm having an off night. It's like, no, I guess I'm having an off night till I hit this next one.
Till I hit this next one. Kobe didn't give a goddamn.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I understand how people felt, but honestly, the free throw disparity was unconscionable. I definitely feel like the refs were not calling it fair, but also that's kind of why you want home court advantage, is to be in your house in the most decisive game, just in case it come down to some bullshit. The bullshit hopefully go your way. And so I feel sympathy for the Lynx because I think they played well enough and should have won, but they also didn't play great.
No, they did not.
Like, they also didn't play great because, I mean, if I told you before that game that Stewie and fucking Ionescu was going to be bricking like that, you would have been like, oh, yeah, so Lynx win by 20. And it was just like kind of neck and neck. There were times where they kind of let them come back. And it wasn't like I was watching it going, oh, they're letting them come back because they're just fouling them and getting away with fouls. It just felt like something wasn't happening with them.
And each team was doing a run. Like one team would do a run, then the other one would do a run, then the other one. So it was like a game of runs. And also sitting back and watching the games. It's like that first game they stole. So it's like, well, we know that y'all can win here if you really want to win.
That was just so fun. That finals was fun. I'm gonna miss WNBA after this, but yeah, I just loved everybody being mad on Twitter about it because I said, oh, this is so good. This is sports. This is real sports.
This is sports. Not the other bullshit y'all be talking about.
Sports isn't when y'all do all that fake ass rooting for both teams and I just want everybody to have a good game.
Right.
This isn't a charity. It's a fucking sport. It's okay not to like people and shit. It's okay to want somebody to lose. It's okay to be like, nah, these motherfuckers deserve to lose and they cheated. That's when you having sports.
Oh, yeah. I felt like that before.
Yeah. Sports. This ain't a fucking recital where we just like, I just want all the kids to do well. No, I want some people to win and I want some people to lose. I was rooting for the Liberty like a motherfucker. I was in there like, that might have been a bad call, but yes, let's go. let's go bad call. Come on, ref.
I'm like that with the Hornets. I'm not even gonna lie.
Right. Which I think I was gonna be up there like, no. Like that commercial where it's like, Coach, I stepped out of bounds. I will smack the shit out that kid. Boy, you better get back over there.
That ain't call it.
Right. Nah, we playing. That's the ref. Ref got a job. We got a job. Jobs ain't got nothing to do with each other.
Nothing.
Man, I gotta say, might have spoke too soon last week because I thought I did a pretty fair job talking about Obama's comments about black male voters and stuff like that. And I definitely thought, could have been articulated in a way that might have been a little more palatable to everybody, or, just not been about, the niggas that ain't gonna vote or gonna vote Trump, or that just, have misogynistic issues, and, maybe separate them from black men and be like, hey, these black men specifically need to do a better job. You brothers in this room, y'all doing good, which he may have done. I told y'all that clip was truncated, but I may have to take it all back. Not against Obama, but on his side, because the last 18 hours or so have been so fucking embarrassing. Watching all these prominent brothers cry for DeShaun Watson, who tore his Achilles during the game against the Browns, and the fans was basically happy that he got hurt and got taken out the field. Now I understand. those fans, not necessarily good fans. Many of those fans, when they got him, was cheering and putting up. I shouldn't even say many. It was honestly just a few people, but we attribute those to everybody, and that's not fair. I'm sure there's a lot of Browns fans who are like, I actually don't want this fucking piece of shit on my team.
You know they didn't.
Because I know as a Panthers fan, Panthers was in the bidding for it, and I was like, I don't want him. I don't want him. I'd rather be as sorry as we are now to have DeShaun Watson on the team and being as sorry as we are now.
Ain't that the truth?
But so I'm not even gonna tar him. I think people do that so they can shit on the whole fan base and then pretend that it's not, unfair. So I won't do that. But LeBron James, Jameis Winston, Deion Sanders, all these people sending this brother like prayers up and it's not right that y'all booed him and all this shit. Bro, what are we doing? Y'all know that it's not really just football that's causing people not to fuck with this guy.
Right.
It's not that simple. If it was, I would understand, but it ain't.
Yeah, if it was just football, agreed.
Yeah, like, fam, the nigga got like 40 women that's like, yo, he all the way up to sexually assaulted some of us. He settled them cases. He like, a new one came forward this year. He's not a martyr. He's getting paid guaranteed money more than anybody else who's played the position.
Right. So him not playing ain't gonna make a difference. He's still gonna get his money.
And he played like shit. So like,
he was terrible.
Like, I hate when they do this thing of like, solidarity around somebody that doesn't really deserve it and doesn't like. They're not a victim of anything. He's a victim of his own behaviors. Like, this isn't like, oh man, they did, and it's not, and it's bullshit. Because like, if it was Ben Roethlisberger, these black men are not embarrassing themselves, falling all over the ground to talk about how good a brother he is and shit. They'd be like, damn, but he got hurt. Okay, happens a lot.
It does
on a lot of players, on a lot of times. Like,
yes.
I don't know, man. I did not like that shit. I don't want to attribute it to all black men, because obviously I'm among black men, and there's a bunch of us that are like, nah, fuck that dude. But it was a lot of prominent like dudes that didn't have to say shit really. And then because he got booed as he was injured, it gave them like a righteous thing. But they feel
like they had to make a stand, right?
Not that they had to. I honestly felt like they thought, I can make a stand. And I think the same thing happened with Derrick Rose too, where enough time passes and these dudes never stop supporting those guys, period. But they had to be quiet about it. This is all speculation on my part. And then something controversial happens, and now you can grandstand like, why would you do this, brother, this way? It's like, you know why. What? Stop trying to sneak one past the refs. Buddy is not a good person. That's why. And you look foolish defending that shit. So I thought that shit was so whack, man. I know it's not a funny one, but goddamn. Like, stop. All right. Last one is kind of funny. So, I'll be sitting around watching TV in the morning, as I want to do. Watch the news, watch the sports shows, First Take, that kind of stuff. And for the last couple of weeks, the woman that hosted, Molly, she hasn't been on the show, and nobody knew why. They didn't even say why or whatever. But they've been having other people hosted and all this stuff. And today I saw she was back, and they started the show by being like, "Oh, glad you're back." Da 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 da. And I remember I used to like laugh at the idea of news people that would come on and be like, "Hi, I'm Rob Morrow. Your normal host, Dan Jones, is not here today. He's out sick, but we're gonna da. We hope he gets well soon, right?" And I used to always be like, "Who the fuck is that for? Just give me the weather. Who cares?
Somebody cares.
It's for me. Apparently, it's for me because I cared. It made me happy that Molly was back. I said, "Oh, Molly back. That's good."
Yeah, because all jokes aside, depending on what it is and how you present it, when people tune in and they regular ass person ain't there, even when I listen to like my podcast, the Daily Show and some of the other podcasts, if the normal voice ain't there, I'm like, who is you? And then they got to be like, they're out on assignment, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, somebody like me is like looking and getting angry initially going, you you ain't the person that's supposed to be preparing this meal for me. What is happening here?
I don't know why. I don't know when I became a basic ass white woman like that, to where I'm just sitting around in the morning news like, where's Leon? I hope everything's all right. They didn't give me an update on Leon. It's been 3 days.
Did something happen? You been getting concerned about him. Did something happen?
Like, they didn't say she was using vacation days. Like, they normally have something to say. Like, it just seemed unplanned. Random people was hosting the show. They had some chick I never met. I had animosity towards the woman. She never did nothing wrong.
Right.
But I'm like, you not Molly. What you doing?
Right. And they know people probably be calling up. When the house coming back?
You don't even know how to let Stephen A. talk over you right.
Like, what's happening?
You fucking up the flow. You supposed to just go, oh, Shannon, after he said something horribly insensitive and misogynistic. You're not supposed to actually make a good point.
How dare you fuck up the flow?
You're messing up the double dutch of this whole thing. All right, that's all my banter for today. Let's go ahead and get into some show news stuff. I guess we should do election stuff, right? Yeah, we gotta go election.
You think, yeah, we gotta go?
Yeah, we should do it. I'm just trying to see there we go. The right.
You're running against me. Kamala Harris. This former president, we're not going back. This former president, we're not going back. This president, we're not going back. So let's be clear about that. You're running against me.
Kamala Harris.
All right, so election news. This thing's still happening. We got 2 weeks. Early voting has started in a lot of states. Hopefully y'all are gonna utilize that. I know we plan on voting early. But that's not the only news about voting early. There's a bunch of other shit. So let's see. A Georgia judge has blocked the ballot counting rule and says the county officials must certify election results. So Georgia was a state where they thought, oh, we'll just get all the people that certify the election to be Republicans, we'll get Republicans to fill those seats, and then even if Democrats win, we're just gonna try to
drag it on.
Yeah, we're gonna try to drag it on, delay certification, undermine public confidence in the results. A judge said, y'all can't do any of that shit.
Right. Do your fucking job.
Yeah, that same judge ruled that county election officials must certify election results by the deadline set in law.
Right, because that's the federal government's job, not yours.
Yeah, stop playing in our faces. Like, that's bullshit. We don't need that.
Right.
Let's see what else has happened. Charlemagne the God, Leonard as I call him, praises Trump ad on Harris supporting funding migrant inmate sex changes. That was nuts. Now what's interesting about this ad, we've been seeing it nonstop here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
For some reason we have.
And the attack ad is featuring Charlemagne and DJ Envy. So it's literally them saying, they're in the ad being like, well, she better not be funding no transgender sir. I don't want my tax dollars going to that. They're using these useful idiots in the fucking ad that's an attack ad on the woman that Charlemagne hosted a town hall for. You know, this is why people think he's an op. And then, of course, he's like, well, it's effective. It's a good ad. You know, of course you would say that. You're part of the fuel for it. So they talked about it on their radio show or whatever. But yeah, they basically said that it's a good ad. And it's like, yes, it's a good ad because, one, y'all have a transphobic ass platform. It's the same platform where y'all let what's the dude that made Living a Good Life? Lil Duval. Y'all let Lil Duval come on there like the day after you had a trans person on there and talk about how he would kill a trans person,
right?
Which is obvious hate crime for quote unquote tricking him. So and y'all laughed at that shit. So like I don't expect more out of that platform, but I just think it's interesting how much of a useful idiot he is and that platform is. And it's funny because Kamala Harris in that town hall, of course, ran circles around him because he's not a very brilliant guy. He's like the Black Joe Rogan. It's like I'm here to go along with whatever the fuck is happening in my face. So yeah, it was, and then make the most basic ha-has, when he tries to get you. But yeah, it's just I'll be glad when this shit is over. Let's see what else we have here. Trump apprentice executive. He's I guess the NDAs from the TV show The Apprentice have expired.
Ooh, so them people gonna start talking, huh?
Yeah, so John Miller is an executive, former NBC marketing executive. He wrote an op-ed apologizing for his portrayal of Donald Trump as a successful businessman while working on the TV show Apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was watching, I guess, a reel, and it was a white lady. She went over all the different things and businesses that Donald Trump has owned, like, over the years, and it was a bunch of them. And a lot of the shit that he owned, within a year and a half, he ended up filing bankruptcy, closing, or either a lot of the shit that he sold ended up taking off the market due to low sales and shit like this. He owned like an airplane line, which I didn't even know he did. And it was like, yeah, he didn't want to pay the money for the maintenance, and so a year later that shit crashed. So basically the airline failed. I was like, yeah, that sounds like him. And so I was like, yeah, you want somebody that like that, who has filed for bankruptcy multiple times, have drove multiple businesses in the ground, has consistently tried to sell everything from tequila to a casino, all failed, and you want that person to run this country.
Yeah, and they created the image of him being a great businessman. They had the show for 15 seasons. I've never watched a second of this show. I don't give a fuck. I know
I haven't watched it yet.
I know it's gonna sound mad judgmental, and I'm sorry, it just has to sound this way. But this is, to me, one of the side effects, I guess, one of the casualties of our reality TV obsession, is that it actually legitimizes horrible people doing horrible shit to each other, and we just treat it like it's a sport or something. But these are real people that exist, and I think it made Donald Trump have an appeal to a lot of Americans that would not have been introduced to his particular type of poison and end up ingesting it and loving it in a way that should have never been done. And these people sanitized him, not to mention they knew he was racist. He said racial slurs on set. There's a bunch of stuff where they knew this guy was whatever, but they also thought he was box office, he was money, and making him appear to be a big man was too alluring to them to say, you know what, no, we shouldn't do this. And so we end up with this motherfucker. And no, they couldn't have known he would be president one day or whatever, but even just giving him the appearance of legitimacy while knowing that he was illegitimate as a businessman is such TV magic bullshit that it just sprinkled a coat of acceptableness over unacceptable man, and we end up with this guy as president. And at this point, we're however many years he's been running for president, not counting the years he was as president, like 10 years maybe of dealing with this dude, and him being either in the seat of power or very close to it. That's unacceptable. And I get that maybe the NDA wouldn't let them write this before or something, but I don't know, man. I don't feel like thank God you said something in that way. But if I'm being fair, better late than never. Welcome to the party. This is not news to me. Maybe it'll change some person's mind. I don't know who that person is, but it's just terrible. Let's see what else. Trump says this motherfucker. Trump says that we should have negotiated around a civil war.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, he basically said, Abraham Lincoln just needed to negotiate a little bit better.
About the slaves.
With the slaves, yeah, about the slaves.
People that said I will give my life, fuck y'all, we're seceding from the union because we want these slaves.
He said it could have been negotiated. They didn't need to go to war. Civil war could have been negotiated.
Somebody who talks about starting one, okay.
Which sounds to me like he's saying a little bit of slavery would have been fine with me.
Yep.
Like, I mean, what else could that mean? What else could that mean? What's to be negotiated other than the freedom of black people in this country? And yet you have people who will tell me Kamala Harris needs a black man agenda and Trump doesn't need shit. What is that? This is what Trump has to offer me as a black man for my vote? I'm supposed to bend over for this shit? Which is what you will be doing, bending over for this shit if you let him in the White House. I don't understand. Like, I mean, I get it. These black celebrities are probably just getting checks. But I would never put my name in front of some shit like this. And they don't listen to them, and they're never accountable to stuff like this. Like, I mean, I don't treat these people seriously, but if I would love to see some journalist pull like a Le'Veon Bell to the side who's a former football player and went to a Trump rally and supported him with a shirt that said Trump or the Tramp and then tweeted about it. I'd love for somebody to ask him, so what are your thoughts on Trump saying he'd negotiate the Civil War? Well, how do you think he would have done that? What would that look like for black people?
Right.
You know, the ignorance is something. And it's getting on my fucking nerves, you know, like it's not like I respect Antonio Brown, you know, like I don't want to turn this into like, this is just what black men are. Cause it's not. 85% of us are not fucking with those guys. We're not voting in the way they vote. But there's a visual thing happening with these motherfucking dudes out here stepping and fetching for him that is so divisive and incendiary, and they're not leaders. None of them are respected. Waka Flocka Fame is not respected. You know, we're not looking at his political acumen like, oh, well, if he knows, what's Waka gonna say about it? We've never said those sentences.
No.
But there's something that is visually it's infuriating knowing that these dudes will go fuck with him for obviously a check. I'm just assuming they're getting paid, you know. But yeah, and no one takes them serious because no one's even asking them stuff like this. The Central Park Five, or the Exonerated Five as they're called, they're not known as that anymore. Anyway, those 5 men are actually suing him again because for defamation after he again blamed them for crime during the presidential debate.
Yeah, for shit that they didn't do was found not good. Yes, I would sue him too. Get my name out of your mouth.
All right, another lawsuit he'll probably lose and never pay. You know, just ridiculousness, just a sideshow. He went and he worked in quotes 15 minutes at a McDonald's, which is a photo op.
Yeah, the McDonald's was closed.
Yeah, they closed the McDonald's to customers, even though this McDonald's claims it's not picking a side. It's just
I looked at Roger. I have they ever closed down for any of it's a goddamn McDonald's. You closing down for 15 minutes is 15 minutes worth of money you ain't making.
I think they closed for the day, by the way. But they had a photo op where he comes in and pretends to work at McDonald's and serve customers. The customers are actually Trump fans that they prearranged to show up. He just hands them whatever the fuck they tell him. Like, here's some fries. He's like, oh, you want some fries? And it's just a glamorized photo op, and he's using it to say, I worked at McDonald's. Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's. She's never worked at McDonald's. She just made that up, as if that's a flex that you make up.
Right. Who makes up working at fucking McDonald's?
Like, that's a flex that, oh man, this will get the American people on my side. I'll tell them I worked at McDonald's. Either you did or you didn't. Right. And you know the way motherfuckers are now. If you didn't, we'd know. But because they're over there and they don't have shit on her and they really don't have any techniques to deal with her, they basically just say everything she says is a lie. I just make up the truth on my side and I just expect y'all to go along with it. And a lot of his cult member people will go along with it. Whatever Daddy Trump says is the new truth. And they won't question it at all. But we know Donald Trump ain't never set no foot in no hard working environment ever in his life. He's never worked a day of manual labor, including that photo op at McDonald's for those 15 minutes. that shit, he took a AI picture that he posted at the Steelers game that he went to.
That thing was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, like it's just, this dude is such a farce, and I don't know. It incenses me that 47% of the people that vote in this country are voting for him no matter fucking what.
No matter what.
It's really, it's so insulting as a citizen of this country. It's why I don't believe in shit. It's why I don't have hope in the way that people traditionally have hope about their candidates and promises and shit. It's like, how could this country be capable of producing the kind of person that y'all would love to see on the liberal side into a position of power? It can't, because this is the other side. So it's like racing against a snail. Why the fuck would I ever run full speed? You don't need to go get the fastest motherfucker in the world to beat a snail. You know, like, they can never be that fast. If anything, for it to be a good race, they got to make the fast person slower. They like put some weights on Kamala Harris and make her run backwards. That's what America does. It's like, put a parachute on her and make her run backwards. It's like, what can't we just make the even playing field and she'll outlap them about 2-3 times? No. That's not good for the media. That's not good for anybody.
Right.
You know, but we got to pretend that this shit is real. We got to pretend this guy's running an actual campaign. This is a goddamn joke. This is something you write in a comedy skit. Arnold Palmer's daughter had to come out and address Trump's obscene comments about her dad, because somehow he veered off in the middle of his motherfucking Pennsylvania speech and told supporters that Arnold Palmer had a big dick.
Damn, on stage? Arnold Palmer's like, nigga, I just make drinks. What are we talking about here?
When he took showers with the other pros, do golfers take showers together? I don't know. Golf pros right in. I can't imagine. I don't think it's like the Steelers locker room where everybody's just like,
right,
you know, rock out with your cock out. It feels like golf is a very solitary, esteemed,
right,
like y'all probably got curtains in there. You probably got individual shower rooms or some shit.
Yes.
But he's like, when they showered together, the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. Paige Palmer Wares told the Associated Press Sunday she's neither surprised nor upset by Trump's comments about her dad, who died in 2016, shortly before Trump was elected, nor was she impressed. I think it was a poor choice of approaches to remembering my father, but what are you going to do, she said. So she did say that Palmer, that her, I guess dad, was it her dad or granddad? Let me see. Yeah, his daughter, her dad and Trump they were both Republicans and bonded over an interest and love of golf. My dad had no patience for people who demean other people in public. She said in that interview unearthed by the Daily Beast Sunday, he had no patience for people who are dishonest and cheat. So when he campaigned for president a decade ago, she basically said that her dad did not fuck with him. But I guess I don't know. They was cool after that. Anyway, good to be white, I guess. Cause I don't know how you even, I guess, be friends with a nigga like this. But yeah, she had to come out and address her dad's dick size.
That's the thing that you don't expect to do after your dad been dead for years. Yeah,
that's the thing that's just Sunday in our state, in our city. What's funny too is your girl Paige Steele was out there trying to legitimize Trump, and I think she interviewed him at one of these town halls. I'll make a bigger point about her in a second, but you know, he's like, oh, I got cognitive, I don't have any cognitive problems, I'm fine, blah blah blah. You know, his whole thing, Biden was slipping, I'm not. So when it was time to introduce her or to bring her on stage, he called her the wrong name.
That sounds about right. But they don't know her name.
Yeah, he called her the wrong name. I'll show y'all the video. But and it may, I don't think, maybe it'll echo.
Here we go.
Hopefully it won't.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's have a little fun, Paige, okay?
Here we go.
He called her Paige. Now, she didn't correct him because she's the kind of person that lets a white man go on stage and touch her hair because, that's what she's about. And it's funny you spend all that time tap dancing for you to get called the wrong name on stage. That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. But the bigger point I wanted to make about Paige Steele and her ilk, it's funny that during the ESPN heyday, where you had all these personalities that were somewhat socially conscious and they talked about social issues as well as sports and the intersection of both, she was anti that. She didn't want people talking politics and sports. Just get the scores, which obviously just is the calling card of the conservative in the sports landscape, where they're like, even though sports teaches a bunch of liberal ideals and shit that we're supposed to be inclusive and all that, don't bring it up. And then when the owners and the teams and the businesses do things that are antithesis of that, don't bring it up. So if they ban a guy because he cares about Black Lives Matter, there's no need to, don't bring it up. Don't point it out. Now, do we pat everybody on the back for the MLB breaking the color barrier with Jackie Robinson? Yeah, bring that up. Okay, but when somebody put up a black power fist at the Olympics and they get banned from the sport for the rest of their lives, don't bring that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that very much is stick to sports when it's something liberal or progressive or inclusive or whatever. But it's not stick to sports any other time. So you have to look at these people that work there, mainly like your Paige Steele, your Will Cain was another conservative. I forget the pitcher for the Boston Red Sox that had the blood on his leg.
I don't remember his name, but yeah.
But him, trying to think who else was conservative there. Michelle Tafoya, conservative. And they always hint around at how conservative they are.
Curt Schilling. Thank you, baby.
Thank you. They always hint around at how conservative they are, but they never come out and fully say it. They just say stuff like, well, some of my colleagues, they bring up race all the time, and I just don't understand. I remember Paige Steele got upset. They had a black town hall for black people at ESPN who want to talk about race, and she wasn't invited.
Why would I invite you? You said you didn't want to talk about it, but then, bitch, don't talk about it.
Right. She spent years chastising people for talking about race and said she had no interest in it and they shouldn't either.
Right.
So they hold a town hall. Why should you be invited? You don't have any interest in doing this.
And you don't have anything to say as far as we're concerned.
Right. So the trend that I noticed is, because they've had an exodus of talent from and personality from ESPN over the last 5 years or so. You look around, where did they go? Those conservative commentators who said it's about sports and nothing else. We don't need to be talking about politics at all. We just need to stick to sports. Michelle Tafoya quit a cushy Sunday Night Football gig to go be the 157th ranked conservative white lady podcast.
Right.
So she ain't
nobody gonna listen to.
Fucked up her whole career.
Right. Fucked her bag up.
I don't know if she had. I don't know what drives these people to do this, because it's basically career sabotage. And if you claim you don't want to talk about politics and you don't want to hear about it, then just be on Sunday Night Football. It's an easy job that politics will never come up if you don't want it to be.
Right.
You just, hey, so-and-so got hurt. He not hurt no more. So-and-so in the locker room. We'll see if he coming out. That was an easy job it wasn't Republican or Democrat, but you threw that away to go be a Republican shield that's actually in a landscape that is crowded with Republican shills. You won't stand out at all because nobody wants to come to the sports person for their shilling.
Right.
No pun intended for Curt Schilling.
Right, you're not doing anything special and or outstanding. Y'all all basically are carbon copies of each other.
Paige Steele, similar thing, left ESPN, seemed with a lot of animosity, even though they mutually parted ways. She was like suing them and shit. And you know, immediately fell into the victim card. You know, I'm a victim of being a conservative, guys. Now you rest of you have victim mentality. I'm just a poor little victim, you know. And she's you know, and she's started the right wing grift from that point on. She has a bunch of racial hangups that she's unfortunately made us privy to. Not that any of us was asking, but
could have cared less about it.
She got a bunch of racial hangups. I remember she congratulated her white husband or thanked him for dealing with her black side and all this shit. And then of course he left her. But she's now on stage interviewing Donald Trump, not about sports. She didn't stick to sports. She went straight into politics. Will Kane hopped on like fucking Fox or some shit. Like, these motherfuckers do not stick to sports. When they say stick to sports, what they really mean is progressive, liberal, inclusive, black, brown, LGBTQ people, whatever. Shut the fuck up. That's all they ever meant. Because if they truly believed I should just only talk about sports, all of them had the opportunity to be people that only talk about sports.
Yes.
Instead, they let their that whatever built up inside of them that's like, I need to get these conservative points out. They let that shit win, and now they don't got jobs unless they're kissing up to Donald Trump. And in this extreme point of time, Donald Trump's like the worst example of a Republican.
Yes.
So if Paige Steele will kiss up to Donald Trump, then it's never been about her values. It's not. It betrays everything they say. It's the thing I like about the idea of Donald Trump is that I don't ever have to respect a conservative person who fucks with Donald Trump. I don't ever have to respect him because there's no thing that he does that I could go, oh, I see how you got there. Like, if you'll respect him because you need law and order, then you're telling me this criminal is law and order. This guy who's out on bond running for president is law and order. They should ban the box at McDonald's because it's the only way he can get a job. 15 minutes there, right? If you're telling me it's about Christianity, this guy's a fucking evil guy who broke all the Christian laws, all the commandments. He don't give a fuck.
Don't care about
you tell me it's about business. It's a man who declares bankruptcy and doesn't pay his debts and won't pay taxes.
Right. People suing him.
If you tell me it's about safety, this man made us less safe. He kept documents in his house and by the bathroom, and his buddies with fucking foreign leaders he shouldn't even be talking to.
People died because of how he handled COVID.
Yeah. What is he doing? You tell me about his economy. His economy was the worst when Biden took over. He fucked us all. Short-term gains, disrupted shit, unregulated stuff, put the fucking wolves in charge of the fucking chicken coop.
And they stole that money, and most of them are in jail now.
So
or
when
spent time in jail.
When you sidle up to this man as a grifter, as king grifter, what you're telling me is you're attracted to the grift and the ability to grift.
And get
over. That's what you're revealing yourself as. Everyone who has followed in his footsteps, your Mark Robinsons, I forget the guy from the guy with the glasses that just is gonna end up going to jail from New York. I forget his name, but that motherfucker, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, the lady who was just in this motherfucking plane and everybody was like, she'd be sucking his dick and end up leaving the plane and fighting other people on Twitter. These are just chaotic grifters. They do not, George Santos was his name. They don't have any plans on governing. They don't have any plans on leading. Everything is just a narcissistic grift that leads back to them. Yes. So when I see you sidle up to him, when I see you cozy up to him, when I see you on stage letting him call you the wrong motherfucking name, all that's left for me to say is you have no integrity. You're just a fucking grifter. It's interesting. The only one I would say actually stuck to some level of sports, even while completely being a grifter, is Whitlock. And I never thought I'd say that, but Whitlock's the only one that finds a sports way to be a conservative troll. The rest of these motherfuckers did not love sports.
No, they did not.
They just loved being on TV, and they were upset that they couldn't get their conservative ideology out there and get all the attention for it. And Donald Trump finally gave them something to aspire to or to descend to, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's why the fuck we dealing with this.
Right, because like you said, for a lot of them, doing that shit was a step down. For most of them, they did not go up. Even Whitlock, it literally is a step down. You went from one of the largest networks to, I don't know, Kickspace, whatever it is he at now, I don't know, but it's like one of them things where it's like, and give it a few more years, particularly if Trump don't win, most of them you will never hear from again, because they don't have what it takes to actually have a standing over there that will actually outlast things. One thing, no matter how you felt about Rush Limbaugh, Rush Limbaugh was a brand. He was his own motherfucking brand. And way past him dead and gone, people will still remember him. These people, you're not going to remember their names.
Yeah, they don't even stand out. They just over there. You know what I mean? They just over there to be over there. To be like, oh, okay, well, shit, maybe I can get some level of shine off of this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just extreme grifting, and it's funny that they made so much stink about everyone else needing to stick to sports, and none of them have done that.
Right, and also it's one of these things where you look, you go, oh, y'all actually made the transition too late. Like if some of them would have made the transition sooner, it could have benefited them. But they waited so late where you're like, nah, dog, you don't see everything around this man is crumbling, and you like, oh, this is when I want to join the ship.
Yeah, so I just, I find that whole thing to be ridiculous. But yeah, that was the election news. I'm not gonna do Diddy news tonight. We'll do it maybe tomorrow or something.
Okay.
Let's do some fucking with black people though, which is still a little bit Trump related. So, we'll go ahead and do that real quick.
Woo, 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 woo. Hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey,
A black conservative radio host invoked field and house slaves in arguing why some black men back Trump. Yeah, so
I'm confused.
Well, let's see if we can get you unconfused. This black conservative radio host is named Shelley Wynter.
Okay.
He's a dude, and you know what? Damn it! I'll just show y'all. What happened? This is on CNN.
An issue near and dear to both of your.
They love to bring motherfuckers on CNN to do this discussion, because they bring on reputable people that are reasoned and studious and make sense, and then they bring on these gas bags that start these moments to get this viral clip. And I guess it worked, because here we are talking about it.
The editor-in-chief of Bloomberg. I want to move on to what Donald Trump has said about an issue near and dear to both of your hearts. The issue of black Americans and Latino voters. Kamala Harris has been doing interviews on black media. Trump, though, is overperforming in polling with both groups compared to past Republicans. Here's what he said when he was campaigning in Pennsylvania.
Any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined, because they are really screwing you. They are really screwing you.
It is Kamala, for the record, but he is denigrating voters for making a choice that he does not.
Sorry, it was echoing. I'm turning it off. This may mess up the YouTube sound later. I'm sorry for people on YouTube.
Shelley, to you, what does he achieve with this?
Well, first of all, how is he denigrating voters?
He's saying that they are being, for lack of a better word, screwed.
Taken advantage of. They're being taken advantage of. They're paying higher pricing. They're working class, the ones that he's talking about, working class, lower middle class. They're paying more for food, they're paying more for gas, and they're being taken advantage of.
But
and
Shelley,
over the course of 30 years, they voted.
He also said that they had to have their head examined. That is not something that is a compliment.
Obama just told me the same thing. Obama just told me the same thing. I've got black women telling me I'm not really he inferred them. He implied them. He certainly did. He even threatened us with, "You're lucky Michelle's not here." I mean, come on. Let's not make things up. Let's be honest here.
For the record, that's my issue with Obama's words, is just tactically, it gives grifters like this some fuel to throw on top of their fucking fire. I'm not saying they would have agreed with Obama or not said anything, but it's just, that's my only issue. I don't disagree with what Obama has to say in general about people that refuse to vote for Kamala, but we're excited to vote for him. In general, I think he's making a good point. A lot of it is misogyny. I've seen it myself. But these fucking bad faith motherfuckers right here couldn't wait to be like, he was yelling at me. Like, shut you, your bitch ass would have said that about anything, you know, but whatever.
And let's really be clear what's being said. If you're an African-American man, look, let me boil this election down in the African-American community to a very simple a reference to great Malcolm X. This race is between House African-Americans and field African-Americans. And the field African-Americans are going for Donald Trump. I'm talking about your men who build, your men who put things together, your men who work with their hands, your men who do things, not the men who push paper, or the men who are connected to power and want to continue to be connected to power.
Are you denigrating African American men who are professionals who work in white collar jobs? Is that what I'm hearing from you? Or
no?
I'm just trying to understand, is Shelley the house one or the field one?
Shout out to that brother, because that's what I was gonna ask. This man sitting up here in a suit with a vest on, talking about house and field. What are you? You don't like, you out here working with your hands,
right? You're sweating in the field.
You're a blowhard commentator. Like, that's like me. I'm a field. Like, get out of here. And house African Americans, field African Americans.
I mean, that's a sense of right from wrong. We know it's wrong to steal and burn down a CVS and an old person's home. I mean, come on.
Come on. So calling them thugs, just call them niggers. Just call them niggers.
That's what you're doing. You're calling them field slaves, basically. You're making an old slave field. That's what you're doing. You just said African Americans instead of the N-word, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, what a serious conversation. End of the day, 0 to 100, what are we rating this?
More of a, it's just very ignorant. And because I know a percentage of people listening will fall for this bullshit or use it to argue online, I'm gonna give it 25, because overall, he's somebody that I don't know who the fuck he is. I know he do a send. Who are you?
Right.
So I don't listen to you. I'm not in your circles. I literally could give a fuck about what the fuck, whatever you're talking about over there. So I actually do not care enough to actually find out anything about you, sir.
I give it a Dracarys, and here's why. It's not really because of what he said. This is what the issue is with this cable news shit. This is the issue. Like, you're honestly bringing these people on for these moments.
That's true statement.
This is what the fuck y'all do with this bullshit. And of course, this is where you end. What is he doing on your fucking TV show?
Right. He has no integrity. Why is he here?
You claim to care so much about, these issues and black people and shit. Why are you bringing on this ignorance? That should be beneath everybody on the set of that show. There should be no reason to book that man. What are you hoping to get unless it was this moment? I don't feel fucked with by him. I feel fucked with by CNN and by the host of that show and the producers.
I can see that, yes.
You let this man come on there and say that bullshit, knowing full well he was capable of saying some bullshit like that.
Right. That's why you brought him on there.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm supposed, what the script is, I'm supposed to be upset with him. And, I can't believe you didn't do it. But really, it's y'all.
Because y'all put him on your platform. Because, Chad, I don't know who that black man is.
Yeah. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, y'all thought this dude was worth TV. Was worth our time. And you put the clip out like, can you believe this? Yes. Actually, I've never heard this man before in my life, and yes, I can believe it.
Yeah, and I probably never hear from him again.
Because y'all thought that was okay. It's disgusting. And that's what happens with our cable news and CNN and shit. They be playing in our motherfucking faces like these issues not serious.
Right,
like this isn't really about to come down to who could be the president of the United States and who gets to make policy for the rest of us. And y'all out here playing around with house African American versus field African American. It's terrible. But yeah, I give her your cars for that shit. All right. We did say we'd do an hour. We're right over an hour and 5 minutes. Let's do some sword ratchetness and get out of here. Where's my sword ratchetness music? Because we got to have a long ass sound effect. There we go.
It is long as shit, ain't it? A whole 30 seconds.
Go ahead. What were you gonna
I'm about to say, and I know we about to go to sword wrestling, and yes, and it makes sense. I do understand, so I give it 2 scores. I give it 25 for him because I don't give a fuck. But it is somewhat annoying. But yes, for CNN, it is a Jakaris, and also it's one of these things where for me, y'all, I want this fucking election to be over because the news stations and all that stuff, they fucking hate when it's non-election time because they don't have shit to do. All this shit will go away. It'll disappear, and they'll be giving you other bullshit, but you won't get the undecided voters. These people fucking disappear once the election is over. They'll find somebody else that they could bring in and drag on the TV that nobody else gonna fucking care about. Your ratings gonna go down and shit like this unless you talk about Barry or Michelle or some shit like that, the Obamas, because or you talk about Trump, particularly if he loses, because like I said, those are their lightning rounds. Look at nobody say those are their lightning rounds. They're having bad news days and slow news time. They will bring their names up and do shit just to get people clicking.
An Olympia man is accused of attacking his parents with a sword, and he will face a judge Friday in Thurston County after sufficient evidence was found to hold him in jail. According to the Olympian, the newspaper, I guess, the officers arrived at the home around 8:15 p.m. Wednesday night after a suspicious 911 call was made. After the responding officers forced their way into the home and the subsequent locked bedroom on the second floor, they found a man holding a sword over his parents, who are both 72 years old.
Damn.
Who were on the ground with several stab wounds. I don't think it's gonna take Encyclopedia Brown to discover to detect this one. Officers used a taser to subdue the 37-year-old suspect, which, if you do the math, they had this baby when they was like 35 or something. Babies having babies. Once he resisted to comply, medics rushed the couple to the hospital, who were in critical condition.
Resisted to comply? He was on some drugs or something.
The father's still in critical condition, as it is reporting, while the condition of the mother is not known at this time. According to the court filings obtained by the Olympian, the assault started over an argument over how loud the suspect was playing his music. The suspect began hitting his mother and father, telling the father, "You ruined my life and I hate you." Boy, you are 37 living at home. I don't know what the fuck he could have done to ruin your life that bad, but I give you till like 25. But 12 of them years, you needed to start getting it together. All 3 of them lived together in the home. The confrontation escalated further when he entered the bedroom with a knife and began stabbing him. At some point, he switched to a pellet gun and then a sword. Pellet guns.
So he took his time with them.
I guess they knew not to have a real gun in the house, but you should also know not to have any swords.
Right, and this is also one of them times where I don't know where this is, but yeah,
Olympia,
wherever that is,
in Washington.
Okay, bitch, you ain't never stepping a foot in my motherfucking house again, ever.
Yeah. If you ever get back to the house, these people might die. They 70. Look, when you 72 getting stabbed up a lot of times by a sword and pellet gun and a knife,
that's a lot.
It might be over.
You might be getting charged with 2 murders.
That's a lot to go through.
Ain't it though? It's a lot to go through shit when you young.
I don't even want to know what parents be thinking when they kids, like that final moment when their kid is trying to kill them, where it's like, God damn.
Right, where did I go wrong?
Right. Like, I know it, because if you letting them live there, you done tried.
Yes.
You know, like you done tried to do something for this motherfucker. And he just like, I want to listen to Iron Maiden loud as I can. But yeah, so the prosecutors have filed documents claiming they have probable cause to charge the man with 2 counts of attempted murder.
Right. Good.
The suspect's criminal history includes time spent in prison for a robbery committed in 2008. Oh, I guess dad ruined your life with that too. He also has convictions for assault, eluding police, resisting arrest, and obstructing a law enforcement officer.
That's why you staying at home with your parents.
Right. What's Dad, you ruined my life. So yep, there you go. That's your sword ratchetness. So you got it in, we got it in, and we will talk to you guys throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.